What's up YouTube, Day Heavens of Wargames. We are here with James, and James is bringing us an FA deck profile. Now, me personally, it's a bit disappointing that it's exactly like UA's, but not as good as UA's, and I would have preferred a bit more UA support. But James has found a way of turning FAs to be quite competitive, and they actually turned out to be James's like ace in the hole at sneak peek, so he decided to build a full-on deck from it. So without further ado, and he won with it, yes, he's done alright. So without further ado, James is going to crack straight into his FA deck.
Yeah, so
show us what he's got.
To begin with, we've got 3 FA hang-on mech. I say mech, it's Mac, but yeah.
That's the way we are, it's fine.
Yeah, so with the 2 FA monsters that are out, because that's all the monsters, they start off with 0 attack, but they gain attack times by 300 for their level, and that makes up their new attack. This one is unaffected by monster effects whose original level is lower than its current level, which means another mech can't use its effect on it, which it doesn't really do, but it kind of gets really silly because it's not just level, it's ranks. So you get this high enough, they can't even big eye it. This is also a Dark Law if you get it up to level 7. So the way they work is they power themselves up by leveling up, increasing their levels, and you do that by playing FA spells, and whenever an FA effect goes off, well, FA spell or trap effect goes off, which leads me to believe that traps are coming for the deck. Yeah, it's my favourite one. It's Dark Law in a single monster. You just need to power it up. The other FA monster that we've got is Sonic Meister. This one cannot be destroyed by battle by a monster whose original level is lower than itself. So it will level or rank, so it will sit on the board quite happily every time an FA spell trap or spell trap effect goes off, increase level. If it destroys a monster once it's hit level 7, it then gets to make another attack in the battle phase. After that, we've got 2 Cracking Dragons, because this is more of a fun deck. It's more let's have a little bit of a laugh. Cracking Dragons, they're machine types. Every monster in this deck is machine type, so it's a big beat stick. The FAs do get bigger than it once they hit level 12 or so, but yeah. So then after that we run the Silver Gadget and Gold Gadget triples.
Trios.
Yeah. Silver Gadget, summon. Silver and Gold basically do the exact same thing, they're just different names. Don't really need to explain what they do. Do I? No?
No, you're good.
No. Then 3 Symphonic Warrior Guitars. This is just extend plays. This helps with a turn 1 Cracking Dragon, because you go Symphonic Warrior, ditch a card, one of the 2 synth mics, additional normal summon, something like the Silver Gadget, then Tribute Warrior and Gadget to make Cracking Dragon. And to round off the monsters, just because there's a little bit of a hole and needed a few more monsters rather than spell and traps, Speedroid Menko, just because hand trap, machine type, and they just fit in with the deck. It's so everything in this monster wise is machine, so that's that. And things like the Menkos and things like the gadgets can be switched out for more of the FA monsters once they're released. Onto the spell cards. 3 of the field spell cards, FA Circuit Grand Prix. So when it hits the field, if you've got an FA monster out, because you're activating it, the FA monster will increase by a level. Its main effect is during the battle phase, either player's battle phase, an FA monster will get a temporary +2 levels, which means that if you've got FA mech, you play Grand Prix, it goes up to level 5. During the battle phase, it becomes level 7, its effect goes off, and everything from that point on is being banished. If an FA monster destroys a monster by battle, once per turn, you can draw a card. This effect procs the FA gain a level effect, so that's really nice. And then if it's destroyed whilst being on the field, search an FA card except for itself. And the only other spell card that's been released for them so far, FA Downforce, gives target one FA monster, give it a temporary +2 levels. You can banish it and do the same thing, banish it from the graveyard, but not the turn it was sent to the graveyard. So what I like to do is play, if I don't have Grand Prix out, play mech, set Downforce, wait for their turn, activate Downforce, it's on level 7 for the rest of their turn. Anything they're doing whilst mech is on the field is being banished. And because mech is banishing, and it's my favourite one, add in 2 Gravekeeper Servants. Unless your opponent sends the top card of their deck to the graveyard, they cannot declare an attack. If mech is on the field at level 7, those cards aren't being sent to graveyard, they're being banished, so they cannot physically declare an attack. This is a combo from my banished stole decks and things like that. I love playing banish, so this one is one of those nasty, I'm stopping you from doing stuff. 2 solidarities, because the FAs have fairly nice effects, but they're still fairly weak with only timesing 300. At level 7 they're only 2100. It's a bit So solidarity, whilst you've got a machine type in the graveyard and only machine types in graveyard, all your machine types will gain 800 attack. That means Cracking Dragon up to 3/8. FA monsters, once they've hit level 7, that's 2/9. They hit level 12, 12 times 300s, plus 800. That's a lot of damage output. And to just push further on the damage output, 2 limiter removals, because everything in the deck is machine type. You just pump everything into one monster and you can go, game. And to round it off, a terraforming. You can chuck a few. You can probably drop something in here to increase the terraformings if you want. Circuit is one of the more important cards in the deck if you're wanting to make plays go off. For traps, we have 3 pulse mines. Everything is a machine type, so changing all of your opponent's monsters to defense mode if they can go to defense mode, and anything they summon from that point afterwards just helps you stall out, because it's not the fastest of decks. It doesn't build in quickly, it's a slow ramp, but once it gets into ramping it's actually quite effective, so you need that little bit of stall. On Heavy Storm Duster, you main it, we side it. Yeah, main it, side it. And because I'm having a laugh rather than taking it seriously, 3 transmission gears.
I quite like that.
Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors. It won me games in the sneak peek, I like playing rock, paper, scissors. I'm half decent at it.
It's all a game of luck.
It's psychology, get in their mind. You can swap them out for things like solemn warnings, things like that.
Yeah, if you want to be more serious.
Yeah, if you want to take it more seriously, but I'm having a laugh.
So now on to the extra deck.
Extra deck, Gear Garantex, because you want to search out your FAs. Heavy Armoured Iron Train Wolf, again it's machine. They're the two that I would be looking at playing more than anything else. I wouldn't really want to go into the extra deck, especially if it's not a machine type, because that stops the solidarity from working.
Building up the levels as well.
Yeah, so, but for sticky situations, Castell, Gargagar Cowboy, Arc, Double Utopia, Light Prime, and Lightnings.
So because you can play Tornado Dragons as well, just your generic rank 4s.
This was made mainly with just leftover bits and pieces I had, except for the Lightnings and things, but yeah it's there. Because of the level up abilities and things like that, you can go Nova and Infinity, and you can even get into True King of All Calamities and Hope Harbinger if you really need to.
If you push so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, like James says, this is a bit for fun. It's quite relatively budget, to be fair. You can, you know, it's not all out of the place, and they will be receiving new support. It is a new TCG exclusive, so we will be getting more support for them. So when updates do become available, James will of course do updates for us. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.